Deep in the jungles of Mexico, hidden beneath centuries of stone and silence, a tomb was discovered. Inside, a woman drenched in blood-red powder, resting beside treasures fit for a queen, but her name? Completely erased from history. Welcome to Thunga's Story Time, where history gets personal, mysterious, and a little bit spooky. Today, we're diving into the incredible discovery of the Red Queen of Palenque, a Maya royal whose tomb was untouched for over 1,000 years. Was she a queen, a priestess, or something more? Why was she buried like a goddess but remembered by no name? Grab your tea, hit that subscribe button, and let's unravel this ancient mystery together. The enigmatic Red Queen of Palenque, a glimpse into ancient Maya mystery. In the heart of the dense jungles of Chiapas, Mexico, lies the ancient Maya city of Palenque, a site renowned for its exquisite architecture, intricate carvings, and rich history dating back over 1,000 years. While Palenque had been extensively studied since its rediscovery in the 18th century, it wasn't until 1994 that archaeologists stumbled upon one of its most astonishing secrets, the tomb of a woman whose remains were drenched in bright red cinnabar powder, a discovery that would captivate historians, archaeologists, and the public alike for decades to come. The discovery of Tomb 13. During excavations inside Temple 13, located within the central complex of Palenque, a small chamber was found, previously undisturbed by looters or earlier explorers. Unlike many other tombs at Palenque, which had been either extensively damaged or plundered over the centuries, this burial site was remarkably intact. Inside the chamber lay the skeleton of a woman, her bones entirely covered in a brilliant red powder. This vivid pigment, cinnabar, a mercury sulfide mineral known for its striking scarlet color, was used by ancient cultures as a symbol of life, death, and rebirth. The rich red hue enveloped her remains and the wooden funerary objects accompanying her, giving rise to the moniker the Red Queen. Who was the Red Queen? The identity of this mysterious woman remains one of archaeology's great puzzles. Based on inscriptions and iconography, researchers believe she was of noble or royal status, possibly related to Pakal the Great, one of Palenque's most famous rulers. Pakal's tomb, discovered decades earlier in the Temple of the Inscriptions, was one of the richest finds in Maya archaeology, and the Red Queen's tomb lay just meters away. Some scholars speculate she could have been Pakal's wife, mother, or sister, a powerful woman who played a key role in the political or religious life of Palenque. Her lavish burial suggests she was highly revered. The presence of cinnabar indicates a ritual significance, perhaps symbolizing protection in the afterlife or transformation to the divine realm. The significance of cinnabar. Cinnabar was not only prized for its color but also believed to have spiritual and medicinal properties. In Maya culture, red was linked to blood, life force, and the sun, central themes in their cosmology. By coating the remains and funerary items with cinnabar, the Maya may have intended to honor the deceased and imbue her spirit with vitality and power for the journey beyond death. The use of cinnabar also provides crucial insights into ancient trade and resource acquisition, as the mineral had to be mined and transported over considerable distances, highlighting the importance of the individual interred there. Archaeological insights and methods. The discovery of the Red Queen's tomb was a breakthrough not just because of the intact burial but also due to modern archaeological methods employed at the time. Careful excavation, analysis of funerary objects, and advanced techniques such as radiocarbon dating help paint a clearer picture of the era and the individual's place in society. Further studies of the skeleton, including forensic examination, revealed fascinating details about her life, health, and cause of death. While many mysteries remain, such findings help piece together the story of Palenque's elite and their complex culture. Legacy and continuing mysteries. The Red Queen of Palenque remains a symbol of Maya civilization's sophistication and mystique. Her tomb's discovery has inspired countless books, documentaries, and exhibitions, captivating audiences worldwide. Researchers continue to investigate the site and the artifacts to unlock more secrets about her identity and the rituals surrounding death and the afterlife in ancient Mesoamerica. The Red Queen embodies the enduring fascination with history's silent figures, those who lived centuries ago yet still speak to us through the soil, pigment, and stone. Sacred and toxic cinnabar, the paradox of life and death in Maya rituals. Following the discovery of the Red Queen's tomb at Palenque, much of the intrigue surrounding her burial centered on the brilliant red powder that coated her remains and funerary objects, cinnabar. This striking mineral, a vivid scarlet pigment, was no ordinary substance. To the ancient Maya, cinnabar was deeply symbolic, embodying powerful themes of blood, rebirth, and the essence of life itself. Yet, beneath its sacred allure lay a dangerous secret. Cinnabar is also highly toxic. The symbolism of cinnabar in Maya culture. In Maya cosmology, the color red was intimately tied to the concept of life force. Blood, seen as the ultimate gift and a vital essence, was central to religious rituals, royal power, and communication with the gods. Red pigments like cinnabar visually represented this life energy and the cyclical nature of existence, birth, death, and rebirth. By coating the deceased with cinnabar, Maya priests and mourners were performing more than a mere decorative act. It was a sacred ritual designed to prepare the soul for its journey into the afterlife. This red powder symbolized transformation, allowing the dead to be reborn in another realm, protected and empowered as they crossed the threshold between worlds. The practice of cinnabar use in burials was not unique to Palenque, but the intensity and thoroughness with which the Red Queen's remains were coated is exceptional. This lavish application underscores her importance and the ritual care taken to ensure her safe passage into the spiritual world. The dual nature of cinnabar, sacred and toxic. Despite its spiritual significance, cinnabar contains mercury sulfide, making it a poisonous substance. Mercury is a heavy metal that, in modern science, is recognized as hazardous to humans, causing severe health issues through prolonged exposure. This paradox, using a deadly mineral as a sacred, life-affirming symbol, reflects the Maya's complex understanding of the natural world. They recognized cinnabar's potency and perhaps its risk, yet embraced its power to connect with divine forces. Some scholars suggest the toxic nature of cinnabar might have enhanced its mystical status. In many cultures, rare and dangerous substances were often reserved for ritual or royal use, believed to confer protection, strength, or supernatural qualities. The use of cinnabar could symbolize a willingness to harness both life and death forces, a tangible representation of the delicate balance the Maya perceived in their universe. Ritual preparation and funerary practices. The process of preparing the deceased with cinnabar was meticulous. The powder was finely ground and mixed with oils or resins to coat bones, wooden objects, and even textiles placed within the tomb. This red sheen gave the burial a striking, almost otherworldly appearance, signaling to both the living and the dead that the person inside was honored and ready for the next life stage. Cinnabar was also used in other ceremonial contexts, such as painting the bodies of priests, royalty, or warriors before important rituals. The color acted as a protective barrier, warding off evil and reinforcing social and spiritual hierarchies. At Palenque, the use of cinnabar in the Red Queen's tomb joins a broader tradition of elaborate funerary rites that emphasize the continuity between life, death, and divine presence. Such practices were crucial for maintaining cosmic order and legitimizing royal lineage, especially in a society where rulers were seen as intermediaries between gods and humans. Archaeological and scientific studies of cinnabar. Modern analysis of cinnabar in Maya burials has been invaluable in understanding these ancient rituals. Using techniques like X-ray fluorescence, XRF, and mass spectrometry, researchers can identify the presence and composition of cinnabar traces on skeletal remains and artifacts, even centuries after burial. These studies not only confirm the extensive use of cinnabar but also raise questions about the health of those who work closely with the pigment. Did exposure to cinnabar contribute to illness or death among priests or artisans? While there's no definitive answer, it's plausible that the dangerous nature of mercury was a known risk, accepted for the sake of spiritual power. The scientific investigation also helps to trace trade routes and resource management. Since cinnabar deposits are relatively rare, its presence in Palenque suggests complex networks for acquiring and distributing valuable materials. This reflects the high value placed on cinnabar and the lengths the Maya went to obtain it for sacred purposes. The broader cultural context, life, death, and transformation. The story of cinnabar in Maya culture is a vivid example of how ancient civilizations intertwined physical materials with deep symbolic meaning. The Red Queen's cinnabar-coated remains serve as a powerful testament to the Maya worldview, a universe where death was not an end, but a transformation. This transformation was visualized through red pigment, connecting the earthly and spiritual planes. The cinnabar signified blood spilled in sacrifice, the sun's energy, and the continuous cycle of life. Through this prism, the Red Queen was not merely a corpse but a living emblem of Maya beliefs about power, purity, and eternal life. Legacy of the Red Queen and cinnabar rituals. Today, the discovery of the Red Queen's tomb and the role of cinnabar continues to inspire awe and scholarly fascination. Museums displaying artifacts from Palenque offer visitors a glimpse into this complex spiritual legacy, highlighting the intersection of art, science, and ritual. The Red Queen herself, wrapped in a red cloak of powdered cinnabar, remains an evocative figure, one who bridges the realms of the living and the dead, science and spirituality, danger and sanctity. Treasures of the afterlife, the valuable burial artifacts of the Red Queen. Following the mesmerizing discovery of the Red Queen's cinnabar-coated remains in Temple 13 at Palenque, archaeologists were further astonished by the wealth of precious burial artifacts accompanying her. These treasures, delicately crafted jade masks, necklaces, earrings, and seashells, offer a fascinating glimpse into her elite status, the cultural values of the ancient Maya, and their beliefs surrounding death and the afterlife. Jade, the stone of royalty and immortality. Among the most striking objects found in the tomb were several pieces made of jade, a mineral that held profound significance in Maya civilization. Unlike the bright, fiery cinnabar powder that symbolized blood and life force, jade was associated with immortality, purity, and the enduring power of the soul. The Maya prized jade not only for its beauty, ranging from deep green to translucent hues, but also for its rarity and spiritual qualities. It was considered the stone of life, symbolizing fertility, renewal, and divine connection. Possessing jade was a privilege reserved for royalty, priests, and the highest-ranking members of society. The Red Queen's jade artifacts included exquisitely carved masks that may have been placed over her face or worn in ceremonial rituals. These masks, often stylized with symbolic motifs like the maize god or jaguar, served as a bridge between the earthly realm and the divine. By wearing or being buried with these masks, the deceased could assume a sacred identity, aiding their transition to the afterlife. Necklaces, earrings, and personal adornments. In addition to masks, the tomb contained an array of finely crafted jade jewelry, necklaces, earrings, and beads, each piece meticulously fashioned to convey status and spiritual significance. Jewelry in Maya society was more than mere decoration, it was an expression of identity, power, and connection to the gods. The placement of such items in a burial was deliberate, signaling the individual's wealth and role within the political hierarchy. For the Red Queen, these adornments likely symbolized her royal lineage and her important function in religious or dynastic ceremonies. Moreover, the materials themselves, jade and other precious stones, were believed to carry protective properties. They were thought to shield a spirit from malevolent forces during its passage to the afterlife, ensuring a safe and honored journey. Seashells, symbols of water and fertility. Alongside jade, the discovery of seashells in the tomb adds another layer of cultural and symbolic meaning. Though Palenque is located inland, seashells were highly valued and often imported through extensive trade networks. Their presence in the tomb indicates not only wealth but also a symbolic connection to water, fertility, and the sacred natural cycles. Water was central to Maya cosmology, representing life-giving forces, purification, and the origin of the cosmos. Seashells may have been used as ritual offerings or as metaphors for rebirth, echoing the broader themes embodied by the cinnabar and jade. The inclusion of these marine treasures in the Red Queen's burial thus reflects a worldview that integrated earthly and cosmic elements, weaving them together in a ritual tapestry designed to honor and empower the deceased. The role of funerary objects in Maya society. The richness of the Red Queen's tomb artifacts speaks volumes about Maya beliefs surrounding death and rulership. Funerary objects served multiple purposes. They were status symbols, spiritual tools, and markers of identity. For Maya elites, death was not simply an end but a transformation. The materials placed with him, whether cinnabar, jade, or shells, functioned as both physical and symbolic aids to navigate the complex journey to the afterlife. These objects also reinforced social hierarchy, illustrating how the dead continued to wield influence. By interring such treasures with the Red Queen, the living asserted her power, maintained dynastic continuity, and communicated with the gods. Insights from archaeological research. Careful study of the burial artifacts has helped researchers understand the trade routes, craftsmanship, and cultural connections of the Maya. Jade, for instance, was sourced from distant regions, revealing a sophisticated network of exchange that connected Palenque to other Mesoamerican centers. The intricate workmanship of the masks and jewelry highlights the skill of Maya artisans and their mastery over materials. The artistic motifs offer clues to religious beliefs and political alliances, enriching our understanding of Maya civilization. Furthermore, these objects provide tangible links to the human story behind the tomb. They suggest the Red Queen was not only a figure of status but also someone deeply embedded in the cultural and spiritual fabric of her time. A legacy etched in stone and color. The discovery of the Red Queen's precious burial artifacts, combined with the cinnabar-covered remains, paints a vivid picture of Maya funerary practice, an elaborate blend of artistry, spirituality, and social order. These treasures continue to captivate historians, archaeologists, and the public, inspiring reflection on ancient beliefs about life, death, and immortality. As museums and exhibitions showcase these artifacts, they offer a powerful reminder of a civilization that, though long gone, left behind stories etched in stone, colored in red, and shaped by devotion. The enigma of the Red Queen's identity, unveiling Zakbu Aja. Despite the remarkable discovery of the Red Queen's tomb and the wealth of artifacts that surrounded her, one of the most enduring mysteries is the question of her identity. Unlike many Maya burials, the tomb did not bear any clear inscriptions naming the woman within. Yet, through meticulous research, art historical clues, and archaeological context, scholars have pieced together a compelling case suggesting that she was Zakbu Aja, an influential figure believed to be the wife of one of Palenque's most celebrated rulers, King Kinuch Jainop Pakal, commonly known as Pakal the Great. Absence of direct inscriptions, a puzzle for archaeologists. The Maya civilization is renowned for its sophisticated writing system, which often accompanied royal tombs and monuments with inscriptions that identified the deceased, recounted their lineage, and recorded their achievements. The absence of such inscriptions in the Red Queen's tomb has puzzled archaeologists since its discovery. However, it is important to understand that Maya burial practices were complex and varied across regions and periods. Sometimes, the identity of the deceased was conveyed not through written text but via symbolic artifacts, iconography, and placement relative to other tombs. In this case, the location of the Red Queen's tomb within Temple 13, just meters away from Pakal the Great's own burial in the Temple of the Inscriptions, provides an essential clue. Zakbu-Ajah, the possible royal consort. The name Zakbu-Ajah emerges from Maya inscriptions elsewhere in historical reconstructions as a royal woman who likely held considerable influence during Pakal's reign in the 7th century CE. Pakal the Great ruled Palenque for nearly 7 decades and is credited with major architectural and artistic achievements that defined the city's glory. Scholars theorize that the Red Queen was this very woman, based on several lines of evidence. Proximity to Pakal's tomb. The Red Queen's burial site is situated near Pakal's tomb, suggesting a close relationship, often interpreted as his wife or queen consort. High status indicators, the lavish cinnabar coating, precious jade artifacts, and seashells indicate her elite status, consistent with a royal spouse. Iconographic parallels, certain symbols and motifs found on funerary objects resonate with those associated with Zakbu-Ajah and other Maya texts and monuments. The role of the queen in Maya society. If the Red Queen was indeed Zakbu-Ajah, it sheds light on the vital role royal women played in Maya politics, religion, and dynasty building. Queens were not mere consorts, they were often political actors, religious intermediaries, and key figures in ceremonies that legitimized rulership. The Maya world was deeply patriarchal but also recognized powerful female figures. Royal women could rule as regents, perform important rituals, and influence succession. The grandeur of the Red Queen's tomb reflects this status, emphasizing her significance not only as Pakal's wife but as an essential partner in the dynasty's legacy. Scientific and forensic investigations. To further probe the mystery of the Red Queen's identity, researchers have turned to modern forensic and scientific techniques. Analyses of her skeletal remains have revealed insights about her age at death, health, and possible familial connections. For instance, comparisons of DNA extracted from her remains with samples from Pakal's tomb have been attempted, although preservation challenges make this difficult. Nonetheless, the physical anthropology points to a woman of mature age, likely in her 40s or 50s, consistent with historical estimates of Zakbu-Ajah's lifespan. These studies also offer glimpses into her life, such as signs of arthritis or other ailments, humanizing a figure otherwise shrouded in mystery and legend. Why does her identity matter? Understanding who the Red Queen was enriches our comprehension of Maya history and culture. It highlights the intricate social structures, gender roles, and dynastic politics of one of Mesoamerica's greatest civilizations. The figure of the Red Queen, potentially Zakbu-Ajah, represents not only an individual but also the broader tapestry of Maya life, where death was ritualized, and identity was both physical and spiritual. Her tomb's proximity to Pakal signals the importance of royal partnership and the perpetuation of power beyond death. Furthermore, her story connects modern audiences to an ancient past, reminding us of the timeless human fascination with legacy, love, and mystery. The power behind the throne, the role of royal women in Maya society. The mystery of the Red Queen's identity and her lavish burial brings to light a broader understanding of the pivotal role royal women played in Maya civilization. Far beyond mere adornment or passive presence, women of royal blood in Maya society wielded significant political and religious influence. They were key actors in the complex dance of diplomacy, spiritual leadership, and dynastic continuity, roles essential to the stability and prosperity of the Maya kingdoms. Women as political leaders and diplomats. In the hierarchical world of the ancient Maya, kings were the visible face of power, but queens and princesses often served as critical political agents behind the scenes. Royal women acted as diplomats, forging alliances through marriage and negotiation that could secure peace or strengthen ties between competing city-states. Marriages among noble families were not only personal unions but strategic moves designed to consolidate power and ensure loyalty. Through these matrimonial ties, royal women connected distant cities, weaving a network of political relationships that were crucial for maintaining influence and control across the Maya world. Such diplomatic roles often required intelligence, negotiation skills, and cultural acumen. Women like the Red Queen, if indeed she was Zakbu-Ajah, would have been at the heart of these networks, supporting her husband's reign and extending the dynasty's reach. Priestesses and spiritual authority. The Maya worldview was deeply religious, and spiritual authority was a fundamental source of political power. Royal women often served as priestesses, intermediaries between the mortal and divine realms. Their roles in ceremonies, rituals, and religious observances were vital to maintaining cosmic balance and legitimizing the rule of kings. Women performed bloodletting rituals, a sacred practice involving offering their own blood to the gods as a symbol of devotion and sacrifice. These acts were believed to nourish the gods and sustain the universe's cycles. Such rituals underscored their spiritual importance and reinforced their status as protectors of both family and state. In addition to ritual participation, royal women could preside over temples, manage religious institutions, and interpret divine signs. Their spiritual leadership was inseparable from their political influence, as divine favor was seen as essential for effective governance. Guardians of dynastic legitimacy. One of the most critical functions of royal women was to serve as guardians of dynastic legitimacy. The Maya placed enormous importance on lineage and ancestry, viewing rulers as direct descendants of gods. Royal women ensured the purity of bloodlines through carefully arranged marriages and by producing heirs who would inherit the throne. Inscriptions and iconography frequently highlight queens' roles in legitimizing kingship, often depicting them alongside rulers in ceremonies symbolizing power transfer and divine sanction. The Red Queen's elaborate burial, with precious jade and cinnabar, reflects the importance of her status in upholding the dynasty's sacred authority. Her tomb's proximity to Pakal the Great's resting place symbolically asserts her central role in the royal family and the continuity of rulership. By honoring her with such opulence, the Maya affirmed the vital connection between gender, power, and religion. Women as cultural and social influencers. Beyond politics and religion, royal women influenced Maya culture and society. They were patrons of the arts, commissioning architecture, sculpture, and textiles that expressed royal ideology and religious themes. Through these cultural contributions, they shaped the identity and legacy of their city-states. Their roles in education and mentorship helped prepare future rulers and elites, ensuring that Maya traditions and knowledge were passed down through generations. The influence of royal women permeated every aspect of life, from court politics to communal ceremonies, challenging modern perceptions. Modern perspectives often underestimate the power of ancient royal women, influenced by assumptions about patriarchal societies. However, the Maya civilization reveals a more nuanced picture where women exercised authority in multiple spheres. The Red Queen's tomb offers a compelling testament to this complexity. Her burial rites, artifacts, and possible identity as Sekbu Ajwa challenge stereotypes, showing that women could command respect, wield influence, and shape history in profound ways. Sacred spaces, the spiritual significance of the Red Queen's tomb architecture. Beyond the remarkable artifacts and the mystery surrounding her identity, the very architecture of the Red Queen's tomb offers profound insights into Maya beliefs about death, the cosmos, and royal power. Carefully constructed deep within Temple 13 at Palenque, the tomb's location, design, and alignment reveal a deliberate effort to express spiritual ideals, especially in relation to the nearby tomb of King Kinich Jainop Pakal, or Pakal the Great. This architectural relationship symbolizes a special bond between the two royals and reflects Maya concepts of cosmic balance and the afterlife. The tomb is a sacred space. In Maya culture, tombs were not mere burial chambers, they were sacred portals bridging the earthly realm and the spiritual world. The placement and construction of tombs were governed by cosmological principles, designed to facilitate the deceased's journey into the afterlife and ensure their continued influence. The Red Queen's tomb lies deep within Temple 13, a structure deliberately hidden and protected. This depth symbolizes a descent into the underworld, an essential passage in Maya cosmology where souls transformed and were reborn. The temple itself functioned as a sacred mountain, an axis mundi, that connected heaven, earth, and the underworld. Alignment with Pakal's tomb, a symbol of cosmic harmony. Perhaps the most striking architectural feature of the Red Queen's tomb is its spatial relationship to Pakal the Great's tomb, located just a short distance away inside the Temple of the Inscriptions. Archaeologists discovered that these tombs were aligned along precise axes, reflecting intentional design rather than coincidence. This alignment represents more than a physical connection, it symbolizes the cosmic balance and the intimate relationship between the two individuals, likely husband and wife. In Maya belief, the king was often seen as a divine mediator between worlds, and the queen's proximity to Pakal reinforces her role as partner in both life and death. Such architectural harmony embodies the Maya idea that royal couples maintain order in the cosmos by their union, reinforcing political stability and spiritual continuity. The tombs become a metaphor for this eternal bond, with the physical structures echoing their shared destiny. Architectural elements and symbolism. The tomb's construction involved precise craftsmanship and symbolic design. The use of corbel arches, stucco reliefs, and intricate carvings contributed to a sacred atmosphere within the chamber. Each architectural element was imbued with meaning, representing aspects of Maya mythology, such as the world tree or the underworld's monstrous jaws. The orientation of the tomb also aligns with celestial events, such as solstices and equinoxes, marking cycles of death and rebirth. This cosmic synchronization reflected the Mayas' deep understanding of astronomy and its integration with religious practice. The tomb's sealed entrance, concealed within the temple's structure, ensured the sanctity of the space and protected the queen's remains and treasures from disturbance. It also symbolized the barrier between the living world and the sacred realm of the ancestors. The temple as a living monument. Temple 13 and the Temple of the Inscriptions were more than tomb enclosures, they were living monuments that continued to speak through ritual and memory. Their proximity allowed the living to engage with the legacy of Pakal and the Red Queen, reinforcing their dynastic importance. Priests and rulers likely conducted ceremonies within these temples, invoking the spirits of the deceased and seeking their guidance. The tomb's architectural relationship provided a physical and spiritual axis around which these rituals revolved. This ongoing interaction between architecture, ritual, and memory highlights how Maya culture viewed death not as an end, but as a transition within a cosmic order, a cycle of renewal maintained by sacred architecture. Implications for understanding Maya civilization. The Red Queen's tomb architecture offers valuable lessons about the Maya worldview. It demonstrates how spatial design and symbolism were harnessed to convey power, spirituality, and identity. The tomb's careful placement and alignment emphasize the interconnectedness of royal authority and cosmic harmony. By exploring these architectural choices, modern scholars gain deeper insight into the Maya's sophisticated integration of art, science, and religion. The tomb stands as a testament to a culture that honored the dead with reverence and sought to immortalize their place within the universe. Journey to Xibalba, Maya funeral rites and the perilous path of the soul. Beneath the grandeur of tombs, jade ornaments, and cinnabar rituals lies an even deeper layer of Maya belief, one that shaped every element of the Red Queen's burial. For the ancient Maya, death was not an end but a passage into a complex, dangerous underworld known as Xibalba. This shadowy realm was filled with trials, ruled by powerful and sometimes malevolent gods, and only the prepared, through proper ritual and symbolic protection, could hope to navigate it successfully. The Red Queen's elaborate burial inside Temple 13, surrounded by sacred symbols and aligned with Pakal the Great's tomb, was not only a political or dynastic act. It was a spiritual mission, to equip her soul for a journey that would be both harrowing and transformative. Each object in her tomb, each rite performed at her death, was designed with this purpose in mind, to aid her in reaching the afterlife and securing her place among the ancestral spirits. The Maya vision of the afterlife, Xibalba. The Maya underworld, Xibalba, pronounced Xibalba, was not a place of punishment like the modern Western concept of hell. Instead, it was a mysterious and dangerous dimension, a realm of darkness, rivers of blood, and trials of wit, strength, and endurance. It was ruled by a council of underworld gods, some benevolent, others tricksters or tormentors, who tested the souls of the dead. Souls were believed to descend into Xibalba after death, beginning a perilous journey through caves, rivers, and ceremonial gateways. This spiritual landscape mirrored the natural terrain of the Maya world, especially the vast cave systems that dotted the Yucatan Peninsula and were considered sacred portals. For Maya nobles and royalty like the Red Queen, a successful journey through Xibalba was essential, not only for personal salvation but for preserving the divine authority of their lineage. Their ability to return as venerated ancestors depended on navigating this otherworldly maze and emerging transformed. Ritual preparation for the afterlife. The rituals surrounding Maya burial practices were meticulously designed to guide and protect the soul on this journey. The Red Queen's funeral likely involved complex ceremonies performed by priests and royal family members, invoking gods, ancestors, and cosmic forces. Key elements of these rites included application of cinnabar. The Red Queen's skeleton was coated with vivid red cinnabar powder, a symbolic substance representing blood, life force, and spiritual vitality. This act was not merely aesthetic, it was a ritual of rebirth. In Maya belief, red signified resurrection, a necessary empowerment for facing Xibalba's challenges. Offering of jade. Jade, considered the most precious substance by the Maya, was associated with life, purity, and the breath of the gods. Placing jade beads in the mouth of the dead, a practice known as the soul bead, symbolized the soul's ability to speak and breathe in the afterlife. Inclusion of burial goods. The Red Queen was buried with an array of objects, jade necklaces, earrings, seashells, and possibly obsidian blades, each with spiritual significance. These items served as both offerings to underworld gods and tools to aid in her journey. Shells represented water and the sea, elements tied to spiritual transition. Orientation and positioning. The position of the body and the orientation of the tomb were cosmologically aligned. North, associated with death, and west, where the sun sets and descends into the underworld, often influenced tomb placement. The Red Queen's placement in Temple 13, deep within and aligned with Pakal's tomb, reinforced her connection to divine cycles. Symbolic gateways and mythic echoes. The Maya believed that caves and tombs acted as symbolic gateways to Xibalba. The architecture of Temple 13, with its steep staircases, dark inner chambers, and hidden tomb, would have echoed the mythic path to the underworld. As her body was lowered into the tomb, the Red Queen was not simply being buried, she was being placed on the threshold between worlds. The use of architecture, ritual, and cosmological alignment reflected Maya creation myths, such as the Popol Vuh, which recounts the hero twins' journey through Xibalba. Their story, a tale of cunning, sacrifice, and resurrection, served as a spiritual template for navigating the afterlife. Just as the twins overcame death to be reborn as celestial bodies, the Red Queen's journey was one of transcendence. Rituals of the living, maintaining the soul's journey. Burial rites did not end with interment. The living, especially royal descendants and temple priests, were responsible for maintaining the soul's journey through continued offerings, prayers, and ceremonies. These rituals helped guide the spirit and affirm the deceased's continued role in the community. Temples like Temple 13 functioned as sacred stations where the living could interact with the dead through ritual reenactments, fire ceremonies, and the burning of incense. These acts kept the memory and power of the dead alive. The Red Queen, if indeed Zakbu Aja, would have been venerated in this way, her tomb serving as a spiritual focal point for future generations. Her journey through Xibalba was not hers alone, it was a communal event, shaping the destiny of her dynasty. The eternal cycle. For the Maya, death was a phase within a sacred cycle. The afterlife was not finality, but metamorphosis, a rebirth into the spiritual realm. The Red Queen's burial exemplifies this belief, integrating cosmology, ritual, and architecture into a single, profound narrative of passage and transformation. Her tomb remains a testament to how deeply the Maya prepared for death, not out of fear, but from a desire to uphold cosmic harmony. Through carefully structured rituals, sacred substances, and monumental architecture, they created a bridge between life and the divine. The legacy of the Red Queen, echoes of power, mystery, and Maya spirituality. The Red Queen of Palenque remains, to this day, a figure cloaked in both grandeur and enigma. Discovered in 1994, her tomb, untouched for over a millennium, revealed not only a body covered in sacred red cinnabar and surrounded by precious jade artifacts, but also a portal into a deeply spiritual world. As archaeologists carefully excavated Temple 13, it became clear that this woman was no ordinary member of society. And yet, we still do not know her name with absolute certainty. Despite the physical remains, the jewelry, the proximity to King Pakal's own grand resting place, the Red Queen has withheld her full story. Her identity remains unconfirmed by inscription or portraiture, but her significance is undeniable, not only for her likely role as Queen Zakbu Aja, but for what her burial teaches us about the role of royal women, the Maya cosmology of death and rebirth, and the ongoing conversation between past and present. A royal mystery that endures. The Red Queen's anonymity may be frustrating to scholars, but it adds a layer of intrigue to her story that continues to captivate the modern imagination. In a civilization known for its detailed glyphic records, monumental inscriptions, and elaborate portraits of kings and deities, her silence is deafening. Why was her name not carved in stone beside her? Was this omission intentional, a spiritual or political choice, or simply the result of time's erosion? Scholars overwhelmingly believe she was Zakbu Aja, the principal wife of Kinuch Jainop Pakal, or Pakal the Great. She would have been both the queen and a mother of kings, a vital figure in maintaining dynastic legitimacy. Her marriage to Pakal likely cemented alliances, and her presence in the temple compound suggests she was revered as more than a consort, perhaps even as a spiritual equal. Yet in remaining unnamed, she has taken on a different kind of legacy, one that speaks not only to the lives of the elite, but to the women whose names have often gone unrecorded throughout history, despite their critical roles. Women in the Maya world, power behind the throne. The Red Queen's burial is one of the most significant archaeological testaments to the status of women in ancient Maya society. Her entombment with jade, shell, and cinnabar, materials reserved for the most sacred and noble individuals, signals more than privilege, it reflects her spiritual and political weight. Unlike many ancient civilizations where royal women were sidelined, Maya queens frequently held real power. They served as priestesses, diplomatic envoys, regents, and cosmic symbols. Inscriptions at other Maya cities detail the names of powerful women who led rituals, issued commands, and preserved dynastic continuity during times of crisis. The Red Queen's legacy, then, is not limited to the grandeur of her tomb. She represents the often overlooked yet deeply embedded roles women played in Maya cosmology and governance. Her discovery urges a re-evaluation of gender in ancient history, not as a side note, but as a central axis around which power, legitimacy, and ritual turned. A spiritual mirror of the Maya world. The spiritual symbolism woven into the Red Queen's tomb continues to offer insights into the complexity of Maya religion. From the cinnabar-stained skeleton to the cosmic positioning of her tomb next to Pakal's, every element of her burial serves a sacred function. Her red shroud signified blood and transformation, preparing her for a dangerous journey through Xibalba, the Maya underworld. The jade ornaments represented life force and divine favor, and the architectural alignment of her tomb with Pakal symbolized cosmic duality, the balance between feminine and masculine, life and death, earth and sky. This isn't just a story of royalty, it's a story of belief. The Red Queen's tomb was a carefully orchestrated ritual theater designed to ensure not just personal immortality, but the spiritual health of an entire kingdom. Her presence within Palenque's Sacred Heart was a form of continued cosmic negotiation, proof that rulers did not merely lead, they acted as bridges between the world of the living and the divine. A message to the present. The Red Queen's legacy reaches beyond the limits of archaeology. She is more than an artifact or a set of burial customs, she is a reminder of the rich spiritual life that once pulsed through Mesoamerican cities. Her rediscovery invites us to look closer at the spiritual traditions and social structures of indigenous civilizations that have often been misunderstood or erased by colonial narratives. Her tomb teaches us that the Maya were not primitive, as was once widely believed. They were astronomers, philosophers, poets, and theologians. They engineered sacred landscapes and crafted social systems that interwove the physical and metaphysical. In their worldview, life and death were not binary states, but cycles of transformation, woven with ritual and purpose. The Red Queen embodies this worldview. Her bones and jewels, buried in darkness for centuries, now speak again, not just of a lost queen, but of a thriving spiritual world that once saw the divine in the breath of jade, the blood of cinnabar, and the silence of stone. The eternal enigma. As technology advances, future archaeological discoveries or forensic breakthroughs may one day confirm the Red Queen's identity. But even without that final detail, she stands as a powerful symbol, a queen without a name whose presence commands reverence. Her story challenges us to rethink whose histories we preserve, and how we understand power, gender, and faith in ancient times. It reminds us that even in the silence of the tomb, there can be voice and meaning. Through her, the ancient Maya speak across time, of cycles, of balance, of life shaped by myth and memory. The Red Queen's legacy is not confined to a tomb in Temple 13, it lives on in every question we ask about her, every image we reconstruct, and every truth we uncover about the civilization she once helped to guide. So, who was the Red Queen of Palenque? A forgotten ruler? A powerful priestess? Or a ghost from a lost empire, still guarding her secrets beneath stone and jade? One thing's for sure, her silence speaks louder than words. If you found this story as haunting and fascinating as I did, don't forget to like, comment, and share with your fellow history lovers. And hey, subscribe to Thunga's Storytime for more gripping tales from the shadows of the past. We explore ancient mysteries, legendary women, and the secrets history tried to bury. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold, and remember, every legend has a heartbeat. You just have to listen.